The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
Coming up on Muddy River Gems, browse through the Easley Pioneer Museum in Ipava. Between Ipava and Barnett and Table Grove, there are hundreds, thousands of acres that were in the 40s devoted to training at Camp Ellis and a prisoner of war camp. Bill, we're looking at a picture of you now with your wife.
Yes.
On the day you were married?
Yes.
You were how old at that time?
19.
You were 19. How old are you now?
I'll soon be 99.
99. How's your memory about Camp Ellis?
Oh, I can remember everything.
That's on the next Muddy River Gems, sponsored by Dot Foods.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dailymuddy. I'm Ashley Conrad, and joining me today, I have two fellas from Jersey's Bar and Grill in Camp Point. Did I get that right?
That is
okay.
correct,
All
yes.
right. So we have James Barnett and Todd Moistner, and James is the owner, and you are the bar manager, and you're here to talk about something. This is like the first annual, right?
Yeah, hopefully first annual.
Right.
Yes.
I'm going to call it first annual because this thing is definitely going to come back. It is Nacho Average Beer Festival.
That is correct.
Okay, so you have a ton of. I was looking at just the event it was on Eventbrite,
Yes.
right, where you can go and get your
That is
tickets, and the lineup of beers alone is impressive.
Yeah, no, we're very excited. We got 8 different breweries that are going to be coming. We got the Quincy Brewing Company here in town. We got the Blind Goat here in town, which is just getting ready to open next to the Quincy Brewing Company,
Yep.
which is going to be fantastic. Friendship out of Hannibal, who took over Mark Twain Brewing. Forgot Tony up in Macomb. We got Burr Oak out of Columbia. And then we got Hand of Fate, Door Fort, and Triptych coming over from Champaign.
Wow. Yeah.
So the 8 that we got coming are all fantastic, and we're excited to have them.
Outstanding. And then not only do you have local breweries coming to showcase their products, but you have other craft beers, right, that are going to be available from places that I know, like Four Hands, and places they're a little bit farther away, but you still have their product,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, we're able to get those through our distributors.
Yeah.
We got Ranella and Hallbrook here in town that are able to provide a lot of those different types of beers from those bigger breweries out of like St. Louis and the ones that are more well known to everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we also have one distributor out of Peoria, Marketplace, which is going to be getting a lot of local craft beers out of Illinois, and then 1 or 2 out of Iowa, I think.
Perfect. Awesome. And not only beer, you got some pretty tasty grub too, right?
Yeah, we're going to have some grub. We're also going to have some bourbon and wine tastings, which Todd can talk
okay.
about a little
All right.
bit too. He's more of the bourbon guy.
You're the
than
connoisseur.
me.
A little
yeah.
bit.
See, I'm not. I love beer. I love vodka. I can. We just talked about this the other night on the podcast. I love bourbon. I love whiskey, which I learned the difference there. But it makes me sassy. So I can only have like 1 or 2. I love it and I appreciate it, but I got to go back to the beer.
A little bit different of a
yeah.
bag.
Yeah. So give us the rundown.
We've actually got 2 wineries that are going to be on premise. So we have the Village Winery that's out of Camp Point, so that'll be exciting to have them there. And then I believe it's Lake Hill, which is out of the Carthage area. Those are the 2 that are going to be on site, but we also have 2 that will be represented through distribution. So Grafton Winery will be there, and then the other one, I believe, I can't remember what the other one is.
Stonehill.
Stonehill, that's right,
yeah.
Stonehill. So we'll have those 2. So there'll be a variety of dry wines, sweet wines, but we are going to have some bourbons that are going to be there. Jefferson. Also, we have Ghost Hollow, which is associated with the Quincy area.
Oh,
if you've ever
yeah.
heard of Ghost Hollow, we will have their straight bourbon there for people to taste. As well as Hard Truth, which is kind of near and dear to me. That's back in my old stomping grounds in Indiana.
Okay.
And then we're also going to get a toasted coconut rum as well as a cinnamon vodka that will be on hand through Hard Truth. So we're going to have that station. That one side is going to be a lot of wine and bourbon. So if you're not a craft beer drinker, it's going to be a little bit of everything for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's going to be nice for
any
for there
taste.
to be that
Yeah.
that much stuff being there. So
That's great.
it's going to be for everybody.
That is awesome. Yeah, something for everybody. And I like to try it all. So if you're not, or if you don't, maybe you don't know if you're a craft beer person or not,
never know.
come try it, right? Because you get a tasting.
I think that it is an amazing opportunity for people who have toyed around with getting into the craft beer scene.
Yeah.
To actually come and be able to taste a very big variety.
Yeah,
we're going to have
beers.
everything from lagers to cream ales all the way to that Russian Imperial Stout coming from Surly. So it's anything and everything in between the two.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So, and as well, bourbon, right? So a lot of people, so it is kind of, I don't want to say trendy because it's always been around, but now it's more popular to go and try out some bourbon. So this is another good opportunity for that.
Right. Traveling and going to distilleries and breweries and wineries has really been popular for several years. But I mean, it truly is about the experience, and when you can encompass all that into one. I mean,
and the camaraderie with all the people who love the same things you do, right? Or are getting into it at the same time. Very, very cool. So, do you have? Did I read somewhere there was live entertainment?
There will be live entertainment.
All right.
We got Secondhand Bliss, which is George and Misty Kate. George is actually I believe a Camp Point native.
Okay.
They also have they're part of a band called Rain City Addiction, which is 90s alternative. Fantastic band. We've had a couple different times up at Jersey's, and this is just their kind of little duo side project that they do. So it'll be great for the afternoon, nothing too heavy, just some nice, easy listening music through the day.
While you taste all your good booze. That's awesome. Okay, so I think we've mentioned a lot, but we haven't said when it is. So it's August 26th, 1 to 4, and you can get tickets on the Eventbrite site.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
All the information about tickets is through our Facebook page.
There you go.
We have all the links on there, so if you just search Jersey's Bar and Grill, and then we have everything pinned to the top that goes along with the event, and we're trying to post any more right now. We're posting about daily about the event, naming all the different beers and the breweries that are coming, trying to get a little more excitement on it, and then it gives you all the ways to buy the tickets and purchase the tickets, and it's $40. $40 gets you a tasting glass, a wristband, and then unlimited tastings from 1 to 4. If you wait to buy a ticket at the door, it's going to be $45 at the door, but we only have a limited number of tickets, as we only have a limited number of glasses.
Yeah.
So
okay. Now, last question: how long has Jersey's been around?
We just celebrated our second anniversary.
I was going to say,
in May.
Relatively new. I have yet to visit. This sounds like a perfect opportunity for me, and I would say if you haven't visited Jersey's in Camp Point, go check it out. August 26th, 1 to 4, unlimited tasting, and it's $40 if you get it now. So if you go to their Facebook page and visit their Eventbrite, or you can get them at the door for $45, right?
Yes,
all right. So what's the address of Jersey's?
It's 109 East Jefferson Street in
Perfect.
Camp Point.
All right. Well, Nacho Average Beer Festival, go check it out, right, guys?
Of course.
All right.
Be a blast.
All right. Thank you for coming.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Coming up next, I speak with Iris Nelson about boats, booze, and brothels. Stay tuned.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan-favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center. Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
Kelly's has been a fun place to eat and drink in Quincy since 1982. A fun and friendly atmosphere, food with flavor, homemade cinnamon rolls, and famous cheese soup, the best menu in town. Kelly's, 2902 Broadway, Quincy.
And we're back. Joining me now is Iris Nelson with the Quincy Historical Society. And Iris, you are here to talk about something very interesting, at least to me and I'm sure others, and that is boats, brothels, and booze, which is kind of the, in a nutshell, the seedier side of Quincy from way back when, right?
It really encaptures the whole story.
Yeah.
And, Quincy had quite a reputation for a very, very long time. But, living on the river and seeing, the growth of Quincy that was through the steamboat traffic later on. But, when John Wood came and established a little hamlet eventually, Quincy in 1840 was still only 2,000 people and mostly log cabins. And so, this was, the boats came to the riverside. The business was established, like the pork packing industry.
Uh-huh.
There was a lot of prosperity, and there was a lot of traffic, and the boats had the porters, the passengers, the idle spectators, the ne'er-do-wells, the derelicts.
Yes.
and so this created an atmosphere that really, anything, there were no laws.
Yeah, anything goes.
No laws on the books until about 1840. So things started happening, and it was mostly pretty seedy, bawdy. You name every negative thing, and that's probably it.
Yeah. We can call it negative. I don't know. It sounds kind of fun, I think.
Well, yeah, let's not be judgmental, right?
I know, I'm like, boats. I mean, except for the brothel. So now a brothel is kind of like a prostitution house, right?
It's the same as a bordello.
Okay.
Or a bagnio.
Okay.
Or a house of prostitution.
I was going to say, I don't know either of those, so I just want to go ahead. It was like the house of prostitution, which, of course, when there were no laws, I'm sure that was just rampant, right? Because, the ladies, I don't, did they have male prostitution back then?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but
Who knows?
You would
they
think
wouldn't have talked about it.
They wouldn't know. No, because, the men were up here, but I think women back then, wanting to make their own wages, that would have been the way to do it.
Well, it was a very, very negative experience.
Yeah.
As the story goes on, part of the issue was the white slavery.
Okay.
And the people who ran these circles would go to other states, promise these young women with nothing a place to live and a means to make money, and then come back to Quincy and put them on the circuit that went Quincy to Peoria, to Rockford, and so on. So, it wasn't good.
No.
I mean, women died. They weren't taken care of. They got almost nothing. The proprietor of the taverns or the restaurants or whatever got the money.
Okay.
So,
So they were like their handlers. So this is like a human trafficking type situation, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Under the guise of come here and make your own money, which was probably kind of attractive to think about it.
If you had no parents and you had no spouse, I had no job, it was attractive. Why not do it?
Right. Right.
So they came by the busloads, literally. Then busload, I should say.
Sure. That's very interesting. And then, of course, the booze entity of it was, because people, what was the drink of choice then? Do we know?
Well, mostly whiskey.
Whiskey, okay.
And bad whiskey during Prohibition.
Yeah.
Illegal trafficking of the whiskey coming into Quincy and being offloaded on the tugboats onto a truck and then taken to the taverns for the proprietor to make money, which in the day was, our own mob boss.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I don't want you to give away all of it because
I know.
The presentation is happening. It's August 20th?
Next Sunday.
Okay, and it starts at
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock at the Quincy Museum.
And it will be a PowerPoint presentation, which means that in order to be able to document and talk about this, I went to the newspapers, and the newspapers have a lot of headlines about life back then.
Yeah.
whether it's crime, whether it's prostitution, although they don't call it prostitution exactly. So you'll have to come to the program to see what they do call it.
Yeah.
But so there'll be a lot of slides.
A lot of information. And how, I don't want to say cool, but it's so interesting to learn this. I mean, I'm a Quincy native, born and raised.
Okay.
But I don't know near enough about, I mean, you hear a lot of the good stuff, right? But you don't necessarily hear the seedy stuff or the things that kind of Quincy, I don't want to say founded on, but the foundation of Quincy may not all be fantastic, right?
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that kind of led me to the topic, I've talked a lot about all the good men and women of Quincy and about all the good things that happened here. But, it's like looking at history from the bottom up rather than the typical top down.
Right.
And so, until we had digitized newspapers, it was impossible to search it.
Okay.
But once we had the digitized back in the early 2000s, then, I didn't do it for some years, but eventually I thought, I'm going to look and see what I can find here. So, there's been a lot of rumors, a lot of legends, and yet substantiating that in order to do a program like this is absolutely important.
Absolutely. So can I ask one question? And again, I don't want to blow the whole thing because, of course, we want people to go and learn for themselves. But what is one thing when you started doing your research on this that you found or learned that you didn't really expect to? You don't have to give the juiciest nugget, but I was like, is there something that you read or something that you learned that you maybe didn't know that you were like, oh my gosh, I had no clue?
Well, I think a whole lot of things. I don't think I understood how corrupt the politicians were.
Right.
The officials of the city, how much in bed they were with the crime organizers and with the fact that they allowed prostitution to be on the books.
So they could make
until,
money.
I think it was 1918 when they tried to crack down.
Right.
And it was all over the newspapers that they were doing that, but in reality they didn't touch it. They still turned a blind eye.
Sure.
So, it's Chicago stuff.
Right.
And yet all of that still happened in the Midwest, and we forget that rural communities, not just on the river, but around this area, had a great deal of corruption.
Right.
That's, really fostered all of that in the Prohibition days, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Man. See, if you're like me, you love this stuff, and you can never learn enough about kind of where, things originate, how things are, because if we learn anything, it's that history tends to repeat itself if we don't change things, right?
Oh, well said. Yes, it does.
Right? So very interesting, and I'm hoping to attend. One more time, give us the date, the time, and the place, if you will.
All right.
Okay.
It's this Sunday, 2 o'clock, at the Historical Society's Museum on the Square. So it's right on the corner of 4th and Main, and it'll be upstairs. There is, limited seating.
Right.
So, I would say get there early because everyone enjoys a good hot topic.
Exactly. The juicy stuff. And it's free, right?
Yes, absolutely.
See? Gosh, can't beat that. Go learn something cool. August 20th. Thank you so much. I really hope to come to this. I think this is just really interesting stuff in my book. So, Iris, I appreciate you coming on and chatting with us about it, and I encourage everybody to go check it out this Saturday. Right?
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a good day. That's it for today's Dailymuddy. We'll catch you back tomorrow.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.